Welcome back to the Manifestation of Money podcast. Have you ever had something happen that just felt a little too perfectly timed to ignore? Like maybe it was a coincidence, maybe it was luck, or maybe it was actually life responding to your energy in ways you can't fully explain. Because this weekend, my kids and I went to a school bingo night, and somehow almost every playful little thought that I had earlier in the day started unfolding in real time. So today, I want to tell you the story, and you can decide for yourself. Was it manifestation, or was it just a random night at bingo? Welcome to the Manifestation and Money podcast, the show where we tackle the taboo topics of money and manifestation. I'm your host, Jenny Schultz, former 9-to-5 grinder who ditched the status quo and went all in on creating a life I love. Yes, I used manifestation. Yes, I took action. And yes, I created a 7-figure net worth before turning 40. Every week, I'll bring you inspiring stories with money mavens and manifestation masters. From learning how to make more, save more, and grow your wealth to unlocking the power of manifesting your dream life. I am so excited to play in this space with you. Let's jump into creating a life you love. Welcome back to the Manifestation of Money podcast. Today, I'm going to share a little story that happened to me over the weekend, and you can tell me if you think it was manifestation or not, okay? I want to take you into my weekend because I feel like there were a bunch of little synchronicities that lined up, like too many of them that I couldn't ignore. And since this is a podcast about manifestation and money, I feel like this is the perfect space to dissect my eventful night at bingo. And I'll let you decide for yourself what you think happened. Was it luck of the draw? Was it manifestation? I do think manifestation is what you make of it. So you might listen to this story and think that there was zero manifestation at play. Or you might think that, yeah, that was totally manifestation playing out. I believe that if you think manifestation is nonsense, your brain will collect evidence to support that. And I think that if you believe that manifestation is real, your brain will collect evidence to support that belief too. And honestly, I think both of those groups of people walk away feeling correct. And that is where we get polarizing views in our world. And that's okay. And that's healthy. We all get to have our own opinions and interests, and that adds depth to our lives. But all I know is that this weekend was playful, it was a whole lot of fun, and I want to share it with you and let you decide for yourself. Was this manifestation? Was it coincidence? Was it luck? Was it awareness? Or was it always just going to happen that way no matter what? Or did my energy somehow influence the outcome? Because every time something like this happens to me, it really makes me pause and go, that's interesting. So here's what happened. Inside our Manifestation Playground group on Friday, we were having a little intentional chat in advance of our weekend about how we would like our weekend to go. Nothing serious, nothing deep, nobody trying to quantum leap $1 million by Monday. Just playful things that felt good, that felt grounding, like puttering around in our garden and enjoying sunshine. And for me, it was things like having a smooth experience over the weekend, solo parenting while Chris was out of town. I knew I was going to be taking the kids to their school bingo night, so I intended to have a great time. I wanted the weather to line up for us to be able to spend time playing in the sunshine, but also for much needed rain to fall at other times so my lawn would be equally as happy. So I typed that out and I submitted it in our chat. And as I was walking away from my computer, I thought, I should have said I was going to win at bingo. That would be fun and a playful manifestation stretch. And that would be a mini highlight in the weekend. And then I thought, well, I'd actually rather one of the kids win because it would be fun watching them experience that. Because it was a family bingo at the school, so it wasn't like cash prizes. It was gift basket style with local gift certificates, Lego kits, game consoles, and things like those massive life-size Kerplunk games. So things that a kid would be stoked to win. So then I thought, well, which of my kids would I want to win it? Because realistically, I'd want them both to win, to equally have that experience. And then I laughed to myself thinking, well, I'm glad I didn't post this in the group because with Chris being out of town, I'd have a hard time carrying all the bingo wins out to the car at the end of the night. My final thought was, okay, if we all won and we felt overloaded, we could share our winnings with the people sitting around us. So this whole thought bubble conversation in my head only lasted from me walking from my office to my kitchen. So less than a minute, maybe even 30 seconds. And then I let it go. There was no pressure attached to it. I wasn't desperate. I wasn't trying to force manifestation. It was a light and playful, fun little scenario in my mind. Just a scene of like, imagine if we won. And honestly, that is one of the reasons I'm wanting to share this because the vibe around the thing felt really easy. There was no gripping, no needing, no obsession. It was everything that we are trying to do to get our intentional manifestations to play out. So here's how the actual night played out. We get to bingo, we sit down, it's noisy, there's an excited buzz in the air, we get some snacks and some bingo dabbers, and it begins. The one person at our table wins the first round. So we cheer for them, congratulate them, and we keep playing. Next round, bingo, Kinley wins. So she happily bounced up to the front of the room to collect her prize. And the main item that stood out from her prize pack was a Lego kit. And Kasey loves Lego kits, and Kinley always lets him build any Lego kits that she gets as gifts. She'd rather just play with them after. So I said to them, well, look, this is really fun. It's like you've both won because it's a prize that you can share. And apparently the universe heard me say to my kids for the second time that day, oh, you both won. Because the next thing I know, a few rounds later, Kasey yells out bingo and heads up to collect his prize. And without any guidance from me, I saw my kids taking pieces of their winnings and gifting them to friends that were sitting near them. And my mama heart was so full and proud seeing that. And this is where I remembered that little intentional game that I played earlier in the morning with peers where we were articulating our weekend. And then I thought of that little thought bubble conversation that I had in my own head where I delusionally daydreamed a mini scene where we all win at bingo and share our prizes. And now it was all playing out in real time right in front of me. As we continued to play, I had the thought of, well, if this is truly happening, I guess I'd better get ready to say bingo. And with that thought, I realized that the bingo card in front of me actually already did indeed have a diagonal bingo line lit up across it. So bingo, it was my turn. And now someone listening right now is probably doing the math in their head going, well, technically the odds are da. And honestly, you could explain the entire thing logically if you wanted to. Our human brain loves to do that. So here are the numbers if you need them. There were about 150 people there. There were 13 bingo rounds, and we won 3 of them. To me, those odds felt pretty tipped in our favor, but I suppose technically a coin toss could also play out like that too. But what made it feel different wasn't just the wins themselves. It was that playful conversation earlier in the day and then seeing all the pieces of it. Like seeing my kids sharing their winnings all on their own and seeing the wins stack. There was a playful energy around it. For me, the dots felt connected and expected. And I need to add in a side note here because as a family, Chris and I had taken the kids to the store to buy items to donate to the bingo night. And Kasey found the Lego kit that he has pinned on his wall in his bedroom. He begged us to buy it, offering to pay us the money when we got home. And I told him, it looks like a great item. We'll buy it as a donation for the school bingo night. Then he'd have a chance to win it at bingo himself. And if he didn't have it in his hands after bingo night, then I promised I'd bring him back to the store to buy it. So here's another bingo night synchronicity, because one of the prizes that we went home with this weekend was the exact Lego kit that Kasey had handpicked to donate. So no, I did not need to make a trip to the store the day after bingo. Kasey loves to motivate himself by hanging images of what he wants in his room. It keeps him focused if he's saving up for something, and he often pins the cash that he's collecting right along the wall with it so he can track it. It's like a marker, it's like a tracking system so he can see himself moving towards his goal. But what I love seeing is when he does this is because quite often the things show up in his life in unexpected ways, such as winning them at bingo. Kids are naturally playful. They imagine, they expect, they pretend, they believe. They don't sit around obsessing over whether they're aligned enough. They play. And maybe that's the energy that we're meant to come back to. Now, in this episode, am I saying I magically manifested bingo wins? You can decide that for yourself. Here's one thing I do know. Life is way more fun when you allow play. If you can find ways to switch from trying to control outcomes to leaving space and intention for good things to show up, it feels like magic happens. And no, I do not think that manifestation always looks like I thought a thought and the universe instantly delivered. And based on the amount of human thoughts and indecisions that we have in a day, I know that that is actually a really, really good thing. I promise. Can you even imagine what the world would be like if our thoughts instantly manifested into our lives? So here's where I want to turn the conversation over to you, because 2 people can experience or hear the exact same event or story and walk away with completely different interpretations. One person sees coincidence, another sees synchronicity. One sees randomness, another sees evidence. And honestly, I know I do both. I believe that everything happens for a reason, and I also believe in manifestation. If you think about that, those 2 beliefs conflict. But if you're with me through this conversation today, you already know that I may, from time to time, allow myself to be a little delusional, and that's okay with me. I get to be me, you get to be you. If you believe life is responding and moving to your energy, your focus, and your awareness, you'll naturally start to collect evidence of that. If you believe that none of this is real, you'll probably collect evidence for that too. People often think intentional manifestation is about controlling the outcome. But maybe it's about being intentional, being open, and just noticing life differently. Because I do think one thing undeniable happened that night. We were emotionally available for good things to happen. And I think that mattered. Not because we forced reality to obey us, but because openness changed how we experienced reality itself. And maybe that shift alone changes what unfolds. Or maybe it was just bingo. And honestly, I'm okay not fully knowing, because I think the mystery is part of the fun. And I think that's where I want to leave this episode today. Not trying to convince you that manifestation is real, not trying to prove anything, just inviting you to stay curious, to notice more, to play more, to stay open to possibility a little more often. Because whether manifestation is energetic, psychological, spiritual, scientific, a placebo, or some combination of it all, life feels a lot more magical when you allow yourself to wonder, what if? All right, that's all for me today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Cheers to creating a life you love.
Thank you for hanging out with me on the Manifestation and Money podcast. If you're ready to take your manifesting to the next level, come join me inside the Manifestation Playground. It's an intentional space I've created to explore, experiment, and expand your manifestation potential. It's where the magic happens. So head on over to www.manifestationplayground.ca to find out more. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep taking aligned action. Cheers to creating a life you love.